Some people walk into a room and immediately make everyone in it smaller. Not through kindness, not through warmth, through sheer force of presence. The kind that has been sharpened over years by wealth, authority, and the quiet understanding that in every space they enter, they are the one who sets the rules. The eldest heir of one of the most powerful conglomerate families in the country was exactly that kind of person. Cold where others were warm, controlled where others were messy, dominant in a way that was less a personality trait and more a deeply ingrained reflex. And almost always, without explanation, he had a black cat nearby, sitting on the arm of his chair, curled at the edge of his desk, watching everything with eyes that matched his owner's, sharp, unreadable, and faintly unsettling. The estate was his world. Vast, immaculate, maintained to a standard that left no room for imperfection. Every corner of it reflected the family's power, the architecture, the silence, the way even the staff moved with careful precision. And into this world, tending to the gardens with quiet dedication, was someone who could not have been more different if he had been designed as a deliberate contrast. The young gardener was the kind of person who apologized to plants when he accidentally broke a branch. Genuinely soft in the way that has nothing to do with weakness, and everything to do with a person who has simply never felt the need to perform hardness for anyone. He worked with his hands, took his time, noticed small things, the way light changed in the late afternoon, the specific angle a rose needed to face the morning sun, the silence that a well-kept garden holds when everything is in its right place. He did not belong to the world of the estate in any official sense. He was staff, background, someone the family would pass without registering, except the eldest heir registered him immediately. And not warmly, their first real clash set the tone for everything that followed. The heir was direct to the point of cruelty, giving orders rather than requests, correcting with contempt rather than guidance, and making it very clear through every interaction that he saw the gardener as someone whose presence in his space needed to be earned, not assumed. The gardener, to his credit, did not crumble. He was soft, yes, but not spineless. He pushed back in the quiet, steady way that soft people push back, not with anger, but with a refusal to shrink. He simply kept being himself, kept doing his work well, kept showing up with the same gentle consistency, no matter how the cold treatment landed. And that consistency, that absolute refusal to be reshaped by pressure, was the first thing that genuinely unsettled the heir. Because he was used to people adjusting, everyone around him performed a version of themselves that had been carefully calibrated to his preferences. Agreeable, careful, never quite real. The gardener did not do that. He was the same in every interaction, whether he was being dismissed or tested or watched. And being watched was something the heir started doing more than he intended to. Noticing when the gardener arrived in the morning. Noticing which section of the garden he chose on which days. Noticing, eventually, that the black cat, who had never shown particular interest in anyone, had started following the gardener around the grounds without invitation and without apology. Even the cat had chosen him. And the heir found that deeply inconvenient. What unfolds between them is not a quick softening. The drama earns its emotional beat slowly, and that is exactly what makes it work. Every moment of connection is followed by a step back. Every small opening is tested before it is trusted, and neither of them moves at a pace that feels false. The heir does not suddenly become gentle. He becomes something more interesting than that. Someone who begins to understand, through friction and proximity, and a growing inability to be indifferent, that control is not the same thing as strength. And the gardener does not become harder. He becomes more present, more seen, more willing to hold his ground in a space that was never built for someone like him. This story is about two people on completely opposite ends of everything. Class, temperament, power, softness. Discovering that opposite does not mean incompatible. It is about what happens when someone who has always ruled every room meets the one person in it who was never interested in being ruled. And it is about a black cat who apparently understood all of this long before either of them did.